Hello and welcome. My name is Chris Shelton, coming to you from beautiful San Jose, California, the heart of Silicon Valley. Today I'm giving you a wonderful meditation to help deal with chronic pain and inflammation. The inflammation is something that everybody's talking about right now. The key word is inflammation. In doctors' offices, on commercials, they have all kinds of medications that's supposed to help with inflammation and chronic pain. And the reality is that those medications actually create more inflammation. So what is the root cause of inflammation? Well, poor diet, lack of exercise, lack of sleep, burning the candles at both ends is one of the root causes. Foods that are not healthy for you, so processed foods, genetically modified foods, eating foods that are out of season, too much sugar, too much greasy, fatty, fried foods, all these things, too much wine, all these things actually will create inflammation inside your body. But the one key component that nobody's really talking about, because a lot of people don't want to feel it and to address it, and that is emotional stress and trauma. This is one of the main killers. CNN actually did a report that we're going to be coming out with later on here on how inflammation and heart disease, so the connection between heart disease or cancer actually from the loss of a loved one, there's a direct link with both. So more and more news agencies, more and more news articles are being written. Harvard, Stanford are also writing articles on inflammation and the root cause also being emotional stress and trauma. So I thought I'd give you a simple meditation that you could take with you anywhere. And so today what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and find a comfortable position, either a seated or standing position. Or if you want to, if you're too exhausted, if you're somebody who has RA or lupus or Lyme and you have chronic fatigue, then laying down is the best way to do this meditation. So the whole thing with Qigong practices is that it's meant to be simplistic as well as easy on the body. So standing meditation takes a while to learn and a while to build up to. So if you are somebody who's exhausted or low energy right now, please lay down and do this meditation. Okay, so if you're standing, you're going to start off with your feet out about shoulders width apart. My knees are slightly bent, my toes are pointing straight ahead, and then what's going to happen is that I'm going to go ahead and tuck the sacrum and elongate the lower lumbar, and then from there I'm going to gently tuck the chin and press up on the crown point at the top of the head. Tip of the tongue is going to gently curl to the roof of the mouth behind the teeth, as if saying the letter N. My breath is long, steady, even, and deep into the lower abdomen. Now, if you're seated, what you're going to do is sit at the very edge of the chair with your sacrum also tucked underneath, tucking the chin, pressing up at the ball, which is also referred to as the crown point. Tip of the tongue also is pointed, connected to the roof of the mouth behind the teeth, as if saying the letter N. Hands are either resting on the knees or the palms facing up, exposing those Laogang points, the pericardium points, to pull in this divine energy. And once again, the feet are flat on the floor. If you're laying down, have the feet flat or the legs out, spread out. And again, the tip of the tongue is actually curled to the roof of the mouth behind the teeth, which then, the whole purpose of that is connecting two major acupuncture vessels of the body, referred to as the governing conception vessel, or also referred to as the Renmai Dumai channels. Okay, so you're going to place, if you're laying down, you're also going to place your hands on the lower dantian, 1 inch below the belly button. And for women, if you want to be really exact for this, they say because the left side of the body is yang, right side of the body is yin. I know yogis say it the other way, but in Chinese medicine, they have a deep philosophy as to why the left and right sides. Left side is yang, right side is yin. But anyways, for women, what you want to do is you want to place the left hand over the right hand, and for men, you want to contain that excess of yang qi that we tend to run with. And so in that case, then the yin hand will cover up the yang hand 1 inch below the belly button. From there, we're going to begin by pulling down the heavens 3 times. So I'm just going to inhale, connecting with my higher self, with the universe, with God, the Tao, and just allow for that energy to come in. And then once I pull down the heavens 3 times, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to begin to start the meditation by focusing on the front and back of the body. So folks, start off first with the crown point. Imagine warm oil that begins to melt down through the front and melt down through the back, the left and right sides of the body simultaneously. So starting with the crown point, you allow for this warm oil to envelop the forehead, the brow bone, eyebrows, eyes, the chin, the nose and cheeks, the side of the face, the front of the ears, the back of the head, the base of the skull, and from the chin and the jaw structure flowing down into the neck and throat, upper chest, upper back and shoulders, through the biceps, triceps, and the elbows, through the forearms, through the wrists, through the palms of the hands, the back of the hands, all the way out to the fingertips. Inch by inch, cell by cell, let's feel what is going on with our body. Letting go of the thoughts of the day, focusing on my voice, on the meditation, focusing on your breath. From there, enveloping the entire chest, the flanks of the body, the back, upper back, mid back, low back, flowing through the waist, through the groin, through the buttocks, the hamstrings, the knees, the shins and calves, ankles, feet and toes, all connecting, all flowing off deep into the ground. And from there, just take a moment to feel your body, taking a mental note if there's pain in any area of the body. And now we're going to look and focus on what's going on the inside. So connecting with our higher selves, imagine this white light that melts down through the center of the body, illuminating your senses of what's inside of you. So you feel and visualize your brain and surrounding tissues. Behind the eyes, the nerves that connect from behind the eyes to the center of the brain. The bones of the face, the blood vessels, the capillaries, the sinus cavity. This white light now envelops the inner ear, the jaw structure, upper palate, lower palate of the mouth, the teeth, the gums, the tongue. Now from the base of the skull, traveling down through the center of the neck and throat, you feel the vertebra of the neck and throat, the air passageway of the arteries and muscles, flowing into the upper chest, upper shoulders, upper back, through the biceps, triceps, through the forearms, through the wrists, and all the small bones and ligaments of the hands and fingers. Keeping a strong connection between heaven and earth, this warm oil then envelops every rib. Feels the ribs wrap around to the spine on the back. You feel the heart, the lungs, the liver and gallbladder, the stomach and spleen on the left side of the body, the pancreas, the intestines, the urinary bladder, the kidneys, the pelvic bone, the sacrum. Now the bones of the legs, feel the muscles surrounding them. You feel the femoral arteries. These are the main arteries that travel from the inner aspect of the groin through the inner aspect of the legs, extending and nurturing the extremities of the feet and toes. Now the center of the knees, the center of the shins and calves, ankles, feet and toes, all connecting, all flowing off deep into the ground. And from there, just feel your body. Taking a moment in the areas of the body. So inflammation shows up for us in many different ways. Heart disease, Crohn's disease, colitis, IBS, chronic fatigue syndrome, lupus, Lyme, RA, cancer, diabetes, arthritis, so many different types of inflammation. And to begin with, we need to focus on the root causes. What are the root causes? So people with a lot of digestive issues like IBS, anybody suffering from Crohn's, colitis, we focus on the liver. And imagine connecting to the liver. And imagine a green cloud circulating through the liver and the gallbladder on the right side of the body. And we're focusing on emotions of anger and resentment and frustration, old anger. If you're somebody that has Lyme or lupus, even RA, we see a lot of people RA that don't feel the anger. They don't know what anger is. They just hold on to it. So first we're going to just feel the organ, letting go of the anger. Imagine that cloud circulating throughout the liver and the gallbladder. And then that green cloud then moves over to the pancreas, stomach, and spleen. And when it does this, once it envelops those organs, it turns into this beautiful yellow canary color. Because the emotions of worry and anxiety over intellectualizing causes other diseases, cancer, cysts, fibroids, blood anemia issues, prolapses. And this worry, when the worry comes up, then what happens is people a lot of times will crave sweets or carbs, which will further expedite the inflammation, allowing for it to travel throughout the body more rapidly. So letting go of the worry and the anxiety. And then the kidneys. Allow for this orange cloud then to travel down to the kidneys, and imagine once it reaches the kidneys in the bladder, a brilliant blue cloud fills up into the kidneys. So things like burning the candles at both ends, excessive alcohol or drug abuse, even prescription medication abuse will weaken the kidneys. So we see conditions like nephritis, kidney disease, Meniere's disease, which is chronic vertigo, tinnitus, which is ringing of the ears. The kidneys all control or influence the inner ear. Bone problems, arthritis, so fear, having the emotions of fear and shock. PTSD, experiencing something that was traumatic or witnessing something that was very traumatic, all harms the kidneys. So we allow for this blue cloud to circulate through the kidneys and the bladder, clearing out the fear. And then this blue cloud travels up to the chest and envelops the lungs. The lungs are considered our most external organ because of its connection to the nose, as well as to the opening and closing of the pores on the skin. So imagine once this blue cloud reaches the lungs, dealing with sadness and grief and disappointment, it turns into a brilliant white, pristine white, saturating both lobes of the lungs, the bronchial tubes. So when the grief and the sorrow and the disappointment is held on to, we have weak energy. We also could have anemia, skin conditions like eczema, problems with our sinuses, chronically catching colds, losing our voice. So allowing the grief to leave as the white cloud penetrates the sorrow, the disappointment. Allowing the courage to come in. And then from there, then this white cloud now penetrates into the heart and the pericardium. The heart is the governor of the body. It governs the blood. So if you have inflammation of the heart, heart disease, carotid artery disease, cholesterol, emotions, all the emotions, anger, frustration, grief, worry, all the emotions could actually contribute to heart disease. Weak kidneys actually could contribute to heart disease. But also things that we take for granted too, like how steady is our mind. They have a saying that the heart houses the mind, which houses the Shen or the spirit. So if you feel that the spirit is lost, or the mind wanders, and there's a disconnect between the heart and the mind, we allow for the love as this pink cloud now penetrates through the heart and the pericardium. If you suddenly can't talk or slur your speech, that also is connected to the heart. So allow now for these different colored clouds to illuminate around all the various organs. Red and pink around the heart, white around the lungs, green around the liver and gallbladder, purple or blue around the kidneys, yellow or orange around the spleen and the stomach and the pancreas. Allowing for the emotions to dissipate, we then focus on the areas of our body where the inflammation shows up. And what I want you to do now is I want you to focus on these areas. Imagine a brilliant white light surrounding the areas or area. And once this happens, then imagine that area where the inflammation is stored, turning to ice, and then to water, and then to vapor, and dissipating out through the bottom of the feet, out the hands, or if you're lying down, you can imagine this vapor dissipating out the back through whatever it is that you're lying on and dispersing all deep into the ground. Over and over, focusing on the area where the inflammation or the chronic pain is. Imagine it turning into ice, and then to water, and then to vapor, and then leaving like a mist. And imagine the inflammation either as a dark cloud or as red and hot, and allow for the white light to cool and disperse the inflammation out through the feet or out through the hands or out through the back and deep into the ground, into Mother Earth, the receptive Mother Earth that receives this energy, recycles it, and rejuvenates it into its positive. Continuing with the circle of life. So again, focusing on the area, and every time you focus on the area, imagine that the divine energy comes in and saturates that area with white light, and then it turns to ice, turns to water, and to vapor, and dissipates. And every time you visualize it dissipating, it gets smaller, the area gets smaller, the pain gets less, the inflammation shrinks. So over and over, connecting with yourself, higher self, allow for the divine energy to saturate the tissues where the inflammation is, where the pain is. Imagine turning to ice, and then to water, and then to vapor, and dissipating. We're now going to allow for the planets of the five that relate back to the five organs to further assist in our cleansing process. So for Mars, connects to the heart. Venus connects to the lungs. Mercury connects to the kidneys. Jupiter connects to the liver. Saturn connects to the spleen and stomach. And allow for those five colors: red for the heart or pink, orange and yellow for the spleen, green for the liver, blue or purple for the kidneys, white. We're now going to pull in the five directions. The southern stars of the red phoenix further assists into properly balancing out my heart and my pericardium and small intestine. The northern direction of the black turtle or the blue turtle fills up into my bones, strengthens my bones, strengthens all the glands in my body, strengthens the marrow, the kidneys, the bladder, the ears, the brain. Pulling in assistance from the west, The white tiger from the west now saturates the lungs, the hair on the body, the air passageway, the skin, letting go of the grief. From the east, we have the green dragon, saturating the liver and the gallbladder, helping with our digestion, depression, IBS, all sorts of inflammation, we allow for the eastern stars of the green dragon to come in to work with Jupiter to help restore the vitality and the strength of the liver and the gallbladder. And then the central location, the golden phoenix, connecting with Saturn, with our stomach and spleen and pancreas. Imagine the golden phoenix coming in and saturating, restoring harmony of this earth element. And feeling this vibration throughout all your organs. Feel the connection with the 5 planets, feel the connection with the 5 colors, feeling the connection with the 5 directions. And as we slowly come back to the present, the 5 senses are strengthened. So the tongue relates back to the heart. The nose connects back to the lungs. Feel the nose open up, revitalize. The ears to the kidneys. The mouth, the lips, taste to the spleen. And then slowly open up the eyes. The eyes connecting back to the liver and the gallbladder. Our vision clear, bright, all senses at their fullest capacity, rejuvenated. And you feel that inflammation as it just goes away. And the pain dissipates, and you feel as these organs all come back into balance with the assistance of the 5 directions, the 5 colors, the 5 planets. We'll be finished by pulling down the heavens 3 times. Okay, shake out your feet a little bit. How are we feeling? I know for myself, I feel fantastic, ready to start my day. And this is something very easy for you to do. You know, something so simple just to understand that your emotions actually create inflammation in the body. Yes, you have to look at your diet too. That's definitely something. And exercise, you have to at least go out and walk. Movement is the key for combating disease. Sleep is also the disease, or is also the component for combating disease as well too. So when we look at fighting inflammation and chronic pain, it's looking at all components: sleep, exercise, proper diet. And if you're interested, please leave your comments down below. I'd like to hear what you do in order to deal with chronic pain. I'd like to hear what kind of inflammation that you may be suffering through, and whatever ways that we can support you here in order to help you go through the process and to heal your body. Because the last big thing that we have to look at once again is emotions. And sometimes we don't like to talk about the emotions, but it's really necessary to understand. But those emotions are there as a barometer to tell us what's going on in our environment. So even something like anger, believe it or not, some people say that anger is such a bad thing, but anger is not. It's actually something to help you create positive change in the world, or to get out of a bad situation. So please click on the link below, and please leave your comments. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. We're giving, every week I'm giving out all this information, because when we once again look at health, it comes from every direction: the relationship health, dietary health, emotional health, spiritual health. And so please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Check out our 30 Days of Qigong. And also we have a Qigong teacher training program. Click on the link below if you're interested in becoming a Qigong teacher, and or you want to dive deeper into the Qigong practices. But I'd like to hear from you. For more information on what your 5-element body profile is, click on the link below, and then let us know what your element typology is. I'd love to hear what typology you are. So until next time, I'm Chris Shelton, signing off from sunny San Jose, California. I will chi you later.